What's up, guys? Hoarder here, and welcome back to another episode in my beginner metal detecting series where each and every week I scour the globe or just look on the internet, but to bring you a new metal detector priced under $200 so you can see what it can do and what it can't do and find out if this might be the machine for you. And why did I choose $200 and below? Because that's how much I found just last year alone in modern change. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. I can roll up, schlep to the bank, and pay off the machine. That doesn't include silver and gold and Colonial relics and everything else that makes this hobby exciting, just modern change. And if I can find that much in Colonial farm fields, you can probably find that amount almost anywhere. And on the block this week is a brand you probably all heard of, Garrett, one of the biggest names in this hobby, the AT Pro, the AT Max, but I'm gonna show you one from their first generation of their Ace series. Now they have since put out a second generation, I put up one finger, second generation of the Ace series, which I'm gonna show you in about 2 weeks or so. But today we are gonna look at the Garrett Ace 250 metal detector. So let's rip this puppy open, see what it can do. Let's see what comes in the box. The Garrett Ace 250. Again, this is their mid-range model from the original Gen 1 Ace series, which comprised of the Ace 150, 250, 350. And now, of course, the newer Ace generation is the Ace 200, 300, 400. So this is the mid-range first generation Ace. Let's see what comes in the box. Beautiful box too, I have to say. Very well designed, full color, excellent quality. And for the people that ask me every week which machines are made in America, Garrett's are made right in America. I believe in Garland, Texas, or something like that. Let's take a look and see what comes in the box. And the first thing I see here is the warranty card. Let me tell you, from experience, Garrett, excellent customer service. I had a pinpointer for like 5 years that broke, way out of warranty. I called them up, Garrett still replaced it, totally free of charge. Excellent. I think the guy's name was Rusty. Incredible customer service. Here's the owner's manual instruction booklet. Comes with the coil nut. Looks like there's some rubber stoppers on there too, that way you get that little bit of friction so your coil doesn't just sway wildly around. Here's the coil here. It's a 6.5x9 Performance elliptical coil. Good size, small enough where you can get some good separation, but not so big that you know, it gets overwhelming with signals under it. Here's the control box. It looks like everything's already mounted, and it is. Signature Garrett Ace black and yellow like a bumblebee. Control box already mounted on there. Arm cuff already mounted on there. It's got a nice cushion arm cuff, so you can hold it. Does have the strap, fits comfortably in your hand. Well done. We're gonna look at control box in more depth in a second. I'm gonna put it off to the side. And then here's your rod. Where's the other rod? Oh, it's inside. So this is the lower rod you're looking at. Inside of it is the middle rod. So let's line it all up, get a better look at it, and then we're gonna put this thing together. All right, so here it is, all laid out, the Garrett Ace 250. And if you haven't heard of Garrett, extremely reputable company in the metal detecting world. A lot of people use it. And the higher end machines that they have, the AT Pro is just iconic. The AT Max is another good one they have. Their new Ace Apex multi-frequency machine, really well regarded manufacturer in the metal detecting world. But what does this Ace 250 have? Well, it's got the signature Ace yellow and black control box arm cuff. You can see this thing from a mile away. Like I said, here's the search coil, 6.5x9 elliptical Performance coil. And with these Garretts, I believe you can even upgrade and buy extra coils. Whether or not you'd want to buy a $200 coil for a $200 machine, I'm not sure. I'd probably recommend upgrading, but they are options. Your lower and middle rod, and of course the owner's manual / control book. This one's good for both the 150 and 250 models. Lots of pictures, goes through everything you need to do, step by step. Not to mention, this machine's been around for a while. There's a ton of YouTube videos out. You can watch guys go over all the settings and see some really cool stuff. So let's mount this camera, do a quick assembly, and fire this thing up. So there it is, the Garrett Ace 250 fully assembled. And this machine has a lot of meaning to me. It's actually the first machine that I ever bought brand new. Before this, I had a few machines that I bought secondhand, used here and there, but I shelled out the money for the Garrett. Haven't looked back since. Stayed with the Garrett product line for several years until I finally switched over to some new brands, but excellent quality, always have a place in my heart. But let's put some batteries in. It takes 4 AA batteries. We're going to fire this thing up. I'm going to show you everything that it can do as we jump into that control box. All right, so let's check out the control box on the Garrett Ace 250. We're going to go over all the settings, and I got to say, I went to put in 4 AA batteries. They were already installed. It came with 4 door cell AA batteries, so great job. And it does have a headphone jack on the bottom, right next to where I plug in the coil. 1/4-inch headphone jack, so you can plug in any wired headphones you want. We're going to do it open air, that way you guys can hear all the sounds. We're going to turn the power button right down here, PWR obviously. All right, so let's take a look at the control screen before we even touch anything. I see some buttons here: mode, sensitivity, discrimination. The modes are listed down the left-hand side. There's all metal mode, jewelry mode, custom mode, relics mode, and coin mode. Now, mode gets confusing for people. It's not like mode really changes anything on the machine. Mode is just basically preset, notched out signals. So if you go in, let's say, coin mode, some of the low tones are notched out, you won't hear them. Maybe you go into relics mode, maybe those are notched back in. So they're just predetermined different notch modes. There's really nothing else different about the machine, but that's what mode does. They're predetermined different notch and discrimination segments. That way you don't pick up certain items in those modes. Sensitivity, of course, obviously you jack it up. Put it as high as you can if the machine can take it. If you're around a lot of electrical lines or other machines, you may have to lower the bar or 2. I think the default setting is 2 bars for maximum. So you find that sweet spot for you. I'm going to put it up to the top for now because we'll see how it goes. Discrimination, we can always discriminate out any signal we want regardless of the mode we're in. So if we're in all metal mode and you're picking up a lot of nails, we can discriminate out iron. Discrimination, very easy to use. You'll see here's our segment ID graph, all the different target segments. So if I hit the plus arrow, you see now there's a little notch line above it, and I can move it to the left and to the right. So if I move it all the way to the left, which is iron, and then hit this elimination button, you see iron goes away. Then I can move over to foil. I'm under foil, elimination button. Now that goes away. And I can keep going. I can discriminate out almost anything I want. Let's see. Look, I can even discriminate out the whole thing. I won't hear nothing. It's like the machine is off. But obviously you don't want to do that. I'm going to turn it off, back on again, just to bring us back. So that's how discrimination and elimination works. And then just if I wanted to bring it back in again, if I eliminate it from there, if I go right back over, hit the elimination button, it's back in again. Pinpoint button, where we pinpoint the actual target. We're going to do a test later and I'll show you that. And then the power button that we already went over. So those are the buttons, what they do, and I'm going to show you the differences in some of the modes. All right, so the Ace 250 is a 3-tone machine. You're going to get a low tone for iron, a middle tone for, I'm going to say nickels for now, a high tone for your big silver. There are little displays up top, what they will come up. You'll see iron and foil low, even though foil might come up a mid-tone. Nickels, pull tabs, mid-tones, all your coins are high tones. And up above it does say gold and bronze. Gold can really fall almost anywhere in that mid-tone spectrum. But this is what they sound like. Here's a low tone. Here's a mid-tone. And here's a high tone. The Ace, that high tone gives that little extra hangy note at the end of it. Almost like a bell. Bing, bing. It attenuates the sound. That's the high tone on the Ace series machines. And if I wanted to change my mode, I just use the plus and minus buttons on mode. Right now I'm in all metal mode. If you turn the machine off and turn it back on, it will pick up in whatever mode it was in when you turned it off. So for me, it's all metal mode. If I hit the minus button, you see now I'm in jewelry mode. It looks like the lowest 2 notch segments are notched out for jewelry. Custom, we're gonna go over in a second. Relics mode, it looks like only the lowest iron is notched out. And then coin mode, it's only nickel, and then your penny, dime, quarter, 50 cent, and dollar coins that are in. And like I always say, it's not like you're only gonna dig those coins, you're just gonna hear those signals. An aluminum can is still gonna show up way up there. You're gonna get all sorts of signals that fall into that tone range, but it's just giving you a guide that at least it's not gonna hear anything that won't be a coin. So you got a better shot. And also, for example, if I go back up into all metal mode and I eliminate out that, and I eliminate out that, and then I turn the machine off and turn it back on again, those are all back in. It won't remember that setting. But custom mode, it will remember that setting. So if I go down to custom mode, and right now I have it at just the high coins coming up. So if I discriminate and say, hey, I want to hear iron, foil, I don't want to hear that, I want to hear that thing and that's good. And I hunt all day long and then I turn it off. Now when I turn that back on, custom mode will remember and my settings are all back in again. You also have the coin depth over to the right. So if I swing a coin really close, you're going to see one bar says 2 inches. If I swing the same coin but pull it back further, well, now it says 6 inches away. As you go, don't forget, metal detectors need to be in motion. So if you just hold it over something, you're not going to hear anything. It needs to be in motion, and that depth indicator will tell you where it is. And usually it'll pick it up right about the head of the coil. So those are all the functions on the Ace 250. The only other thing, which some people might not even know, whenever you change the coil, you want to do a factory reset on the machine. To do that, and you'll even see it'll change my custom mode. When the machine's on, press and hold the power button for about 10 seconds. Holding it. There we go. You hear that little double beep? And now it did a factory reset. So if I go up to mode, you see it's back to its standard custom. So whenever you put a new coil on any machine, even the AT Pro and the AT Max, if you change the coil, do a factory reset. It's the same thing on all the Garrett machines. Press and hold that power button. You'll hear the little double beep, and then you're good to go. And that basically covers the control box. The control box itself is not waterproof. Don't get it wet. They do make a rain cover you can put over it to protect it. So if you hunt in the rain, things like that, but you cannot submerge the control box. Although the Search coil is waterproof, so if you want to do shallow streams and things like that, you're good to go. There's also no backlight on the Garrett Ace, but there is a really good sized lip up here, which does help not getting as much sun glare as other machines where it's just a total flush face. But otherwise, let's do some air tests. We're going to see how deep the machine can go, how far it'll reach them. We'll see how accurate the notch segments are, hear the tone, see how it performs. And the original Gen 1 Aces all have just the notch segments. The new Gen 2 Aces, the Ace 200, 300, 400, will have that 2-digit target ID in the middle that I know a lot of people like, including myself. And we are going to cover that machine a few episodes from now. But let's line it up, do some line dancing, see how far this thing can reach. All right, let's line up the air test. I'm only using the rockets because it's very windy today just to hold the paper down. I'm going to swing over the same 4 coins I do every single review video because there should just be consistency. So Buffalo nickel, Mercury dime, Standing Liberty quarter, Walking Liberty, $50. We're going to see how far this thing can go. And I'm also going to do a few random objects because people like to know what things sound like. So we're going to do a gold ring because everyone wants to find a gold ring. Flat button. Here's a Revolutionary War musket ball. A dog tag in honor of Dog Tag Doug. Skeleton quiche, you can hear the difference when you swing over the thick part or the hole. And I'm going to do the same thing with this padlock, iron padlock, but when you swing over the hole, it might have a whole different tone. But let's start off with the coins. All right, let's get them up there. I'm going to start off with the Buffalo nickel. I have the machine maxed out sensitivity. I have it in all metal mode. That way you guys can see there's nothing discriminated out. And let's see if it does pick up that it is a nickel and see how far away we can get from the coil. Good luck, Ace 250. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, not quite 9. I'm going to say 8.5, maybe 8 3/4. Mercury dime, really nice target. Small, but a high conductor. Let's see how it does. There's that bell tone. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Well, just a little over 8. 2 camel hairs over 8. I'm going to just call it 8 because camel hair isn't a real measurement. Let's go with the Standing Liberty quarter, 1927 Standing Liberty quarter. Prettiest coin in the whole wide world. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Solid. Oh, I thought you were going to get to 10. 9.25, a little over 9. Good job. And then the Walking Liberty $50. Man, if you see one of these pop out of the hole, you are going to have some chills. Good luck. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 9.25. 9.25. And again, as I always say, air tests are not a true representation of how a detector will do in the dirt, but it does give you an idea, because whether you like it or not, there's always going to be air between your machine and the dirt. Well done. Let's try a few miscellaneous objects. Miscellaneous objects. This would actually be a really good day for me if I found all this stuff in one day. Let's start off with the gold ring. I'm going to put these off to the side, hopefully out of range. Doesn't seem to hear them. Gold ring, 14 karat gold, 7.8 gram gold ring. And usually they hit these far. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Farther than even the $50, 10 inches. And this way, it usually doesn't get as far. Yeah, it loses out about 8. So this is the way you want to find a ring if you have an option. Let's try a musket ball, Revor musket ball. This is a solid piece of lead. Usually lead's a mid-tone, once in a while a high tone. Let's see how it sounds. It's a mid-tone. You don't hear that ring at the end. Well done, I'll put it in the ring. Here's a little flat button. This is a medium-sized flat button, and flat buttons can really come up anywhere on your machine. So just give you an idea of this nickel-sized flat button. Again, mid-tone. A lot of things come up in the mid-tone. That's why you want to dig those. Here's a dog tag, which I believe is brass. The skeleton key. Now, the skeleton key is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to swing over this part if I can, try to block it. I mean, the machine's going to go through my hand anyway. Let's see if we can tell a difference, though. And if I turn it with the hole, that's a high tone. The key part, that also kind of sounds like a mid-high tone. I'll have to look at the VDI when I watch it back, see if there was a difference. And we're going to try the padlock. I'm going to try it this way so it doesn't see the open area. Usually this open area will put up a high tone. Let's see. Low grunt. Let's try it this way where it sees the open hole. Yeah, see, high tone. A lot of artifacts that you find, if there is a gap, you know, there's a hole, there's metal all around it, but an opening will throw up a high tone. Now, I might be cheating too, because this does have a little bit of brass on it, so I'm trying to hide it behind the iron. But in general, anything that has an opening like that, a horseshoe that only has 3 sides, if you go over that middle opening might throw up a high tone. But well done, Garrett. Let's check out the pinpoint button and see how it does on the ground. I'm going to show you the pinpoint button, and also, like I said, this machine has no backlight, but you can see you get very little glare. That lip really helps. But I'm going to show you the pinpoint button on the ground right there, buffalo nickel, and yeah, you can have a silver quarter over here to the side. But if you want to pinpoint the machine, if you're swinging along and hear a good signal, bring your machine over to the side, press and hold the pinpoint button, and slowly bring it back over. And its greatest tone, that target will be right in the middle. Same thing, I'm still holding the button. Right there. The pinpoint mode, you do not need motion. You know, like I said earlier, the metal detector, it's always got to be in motion, but the pinpoint button does not need motion. I can just hold it still, press the button, it's just going to keep sounding off. And of course, the other thing I like to do, the $50 under the iron bolt, to see if a machine can separate and hear just a little edge of that high tone under the piece of iron. Let's check out and see how the Ace 250 does. It's a quality machine. I have a feeling it's going to hear it. It does. It registers in the dime category, which is fine. It's only seeing a dime's worth of material. And even up here, maybe 6-7 inches or so. No problem. Well done, Ace 250. So there it is, guys. The Garrett Ace 250 metal detector. Adorable, rugged beginner machine. I know a lot of people that bought this thing years ago and still use it, or you might buy it and in 2 months upgrade. But it's going to give you a good sample of the hobby with a quality machine. Now, what did I like about it and what didn't I like about it? Well, like I said, it's a quality machine. When I use it, I dropped it, I kicked it, it fell out of a tree once, and it still turned on every single time. And if it did break, well, like I said, Garrett's customer service, second to none. What didn't I like about it? Not a whole lot. Two little things. One, there's no backlight on the LCD screen. Now, because it has this plastic lip that hangs over, it doesn't get nearly as much sun glare as a lot of the other machines do. But when it starts to get dark or early in the morning when the sun's not up all the way, it does make it hard to see the screen without a backlight. I sure wish they would put one on there. And the other thing I didn't like, and this is maybe just my personal opinion, I don't care for that high-tone bell signal it does. Bing, bing. I don't know, when I used it, it just dug into the back of my brain like a parasite. I had nightmares about it. I wish I just put a standard tone on there, but you know what? If that's the worst thing with your machine, you're doing a pretty good job. Now, the Ace 250 does retail slightly over my 200 and above threshold. I think it retails for like $212. But it's a quality machine, and with the excellent warranty and customer service, I thought I would just sneak it in to get Garrett on the board. But all in all, I'm giving the Ace 250 3.5 out of 5 stars. Top quality machine. You will not be disappointed if you start with this sucker. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to show you a second generation Ace machine, and we'll see if that improved on some of the original model. And make sure you tune in next week. I got a new machine on the chopping block, a machine I never even heard of. I saw it on Amazon. It got good reviews. We're going to open it up, check it out together. So otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy hunting. I'll see you in the next one. Later.